for specifically October, just look at what's on tap for Xbox. Now, I'm not saying that it's not on tap for others, but they have marketing for this. And it started with what you see on your screen, Shattered Space. That was September 30th. And since then, I think it's going to be all uphill for Xbox. They have marketing from Metaphor, which is going to be Game of the Year. It is one of the most talked about games on social media right now. People cannot get enough of it. It is an Atlus gem. There's just no doubt about it. People are loving it. The scores have been through the roof. You also have Vessel of Hatred that just released. Now, granted, there was a bit of a hiccup. Thankfully, they didn't release it where it was messed up. They held the release back a couple of hours. They fixed it on the back end, and now people are out there enjoying it. Obviously, it's getting good scores, except for on Xbox, which I think that is just very pointed, but it's fine. But you also have Call of Duty. Not only the marketing for Call of Duty, but it's in Game Pass. This morning when I turned on my TV at 8 o'clock in the morning, soon as I turned on the TV, flash screen right there, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Game Pass on my TV. So they are hitting the ground running. This is Activision we're talking about. And again, I'm almost positive. I asked Jamie this, and he believes it's true as well, that they have the marketing for BioWare's next Dragon Age. I mean, if you consider having Metaphor marketing, Call of Duty marketing, Dragon Age, having 2 massive expansions in Starfield and Diablo 4, plus all of the crazy amount of content and games that have already released in the Game Pass, I think, Umbra, this is a quote-unquote banger month for Xbox.
Oh, 100%. And, you know, it's interesting because people would, I guess, bemoan the lack of first-party releases is for Xbox this year, and they wouldn't be wrong because we only had Hellblade 2 so far, really, right? But as far as content in general from third party and even first party, with Diablo and such and Starfield, like you mentioned, we're still getting like crazy good stuff. Like it's not, there've been no slouch as far as content in general. So it's been a really great year and like you said, a great month in general. I do want to highlight that Atlus, this has been a superb year for them, man. I mean, crazy good year. And not mind you, I had never played any Atlus game before I played that ReFantazio demo. Now, I was enticed to play Persona 3, and I am going to get to it eventually. But you just look at the numbers of what they've done this year, and you look at, Persona 3 Reload. Xbox, of course, marketing for that. And now you had somebody claiming that why would Atlus give the marketing for ReFantazio to Xbox?
I did see that, yes.
But I think if anything is shown that they made the right choice, Atlus, because they're seeing a resurgence that I don't think they ever would have thought they would get, and they have outdone themselves.
Yep,
flat out.
Yes.
So again, you had Persona 3 Reload sold 1 million in what, a week? You had Unicorn Overlord, which I didn't even know was theirs at first, sold 1 million after I think a month or so. You have Metaphor ReFantazio, which I'm thinking, and I've had this in my roundtable discussion I had on you guys can find on my channel. I've come to the consensus that I believe that is going to be Atlus's Elden Ring.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you're not wrong, dude. You're just not wrong.
I think it's not only is it going to be a strong candidate for Game of the Year, if not flat out win it. I mean, we already see the reviews. It's looking insane out there. I think that this is going to be the Elden Ring in as far as sales. Now, Persona 5, I think, was their best selling, I think, where it sold about 5 million. So I think this will at least land at the 5 to 6 million range.
Mm-hmm.
So a big shout out to Atlus in general for this year. Well deserved. From what I played with ReFantazio and all the love I hear from those who have played their other games, from Unicorn Overlord to Persona 3 Reload. By the way, so just moving past that, the reason why I was so taken by it and playing that demo, and I wrote about it in a preview as I mentioned earlier. And if you all haven't checked that out, look on the Gaming Circle blog ran by our good brother Kayasanti. Man, they do so much right in this game, from the beautiful art style
I just did
to
a combination that
yeah.
I just got
Hmm.
with the female elf on the horse, and
Oh yeah,
I,
you did the synthesis attack.
dude,
Yeah.
when he was riding the sword from what seemed to be out of space,
Yeah.
I got Knights of the Round
I
kind of feeling. Like
can see that.
I sat back in my chair. I almost was late for the show, folks, because I just got that power. And I mixed these two different supers together, and I was like, holy shit. This gives me anyone that's a Final Fantasy VII stan like I am knows who Knights of the Round is. It is one of the greatest magics I've ever seen done, and that was done on a PlayStation 1. I mean, this game, I honestly I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. I've never played an Atlus game. The most I've ever spent in an Atlus game was under an hour for Persona 5 when it came out on the PS4. By my fourth train ride, I was sold it to a friend. I'm like, you know what? Just take it off my hands. I'm just, this is not for me.
Yeah, it's
And
too
I
many
never went
trains for
back.
me. Trains.
So
You like, look, I'm not trying to keep getting inside these commuter trains, man. I need some action in here. Where the devil's at? I need to fight somebody or something.
exactly.
I feel you. I feel you, Boom. And you know that's that. I get some games not going to speak to everybody, right? And that one is attuned to you know, I guess more of a younger crowd, because you're in school, you're dealing with like the teenage kind of situation. I get it. Yeah, I get that. And I probably, when I get to it, I might not like it either. I'm just going to throw that out there. But I will say ReFantazio does speak to me because it's got that. I love the isekai-esque, you know, landscape of being in this medieval fantasy world. I love all of that. I love the I believe they did such a great job with the voice acting. And you all know how I feel about the voice acting. I love voice acting. I would love to get into it, but you have great voice acting, you have great music, including the battle music when you get down to it with the it's getting you hyped and ready. And I mean, it's so much well done. The animated cutscenes are superb.
It's
I
phenomenal.
think they did so much well with this game that it really caught me initially, and it really brought me into that world. And I like the political intrigue as well. I think that's something myself and I know Everborn both agreed with. Is that we are really taken in by the story and political aspects, and how they're handling that. Um, and I'm just really interested to see how it all unfolds. And I heard a bit. I had to tune away because I turned to what's the Kind of Funnies review for it. And they were like, "Oh, that twist." I'm like, "Oh, that's the end of the show for me."
Yeah,
But
I don't want to know anything. I haven't
yeah,
watched
I almost
anything
got
outside of
spoiled.
just people like you. I read your review twice, actually. It's
Thank
phenomenal.
you.
And reading it, like I said, I'm not an Atlas guy. I like JRPGs, but I've never been into them because of time. I'm gonna find time to beat this game. Like I know it's 80 to 100 hours, and that's just the main story. It is just so good. It is it. I don't know what else to say. This the smartest thing that Atlas could have done for someone like me, who is not an Atlas fan, and not because they're not a great studio. It's just normally those games are not my type because of time. I played the demo, and almost from inception, Umbra, I was like, holy shit.
It pulled
I
you
now
in,
need
right?
to go play Persona 3, and I
Hmm.
want to try Persona 5, but the reload one. I was talking to Jamie about it. He said it's more streamlined. So it's not
That's
as
what
many
I've
train
heard.
rides.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it. But my backlog is just it's gross. It really is.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people, I think Danny included, praise Persona 3 over 5. So I definitely want to try it. Yeah, but like I said, I mean, just I can go on and on really about it, but like I do want to let Jamie get a chance, but um I like a lot of how they're handling it. Somebody mentioned in the chat a second ago about how they allow you to attack before you get into a you know, team battle, for instance. And yeah, I like that aspect too. The squad battle, I think, is the actual name, squad battles. But like the fast battles is what they call it when you attack freely. So they have a mixture of fusion system where you can, attack lesser enemies. Well, you can attack stronger enemies too, as long as they don't hit you.
Mhm.
And kind of get a little edge on them before you go into a main screen battle with them with the team. So I like a lot of that, and I like the animations. And just to give you guys some context, because I talked about this during the round table, the demo doesn't do half as much as what you're going to actually get. You have like, because you in the social sim aspects of that, from which I know is are shared in other Persona games as well. From relationships you'll meet with other, friends and stuff like that. What I like about how they do it here is that it not only plays into the narrative of how you want to. I don't want to give too much away, but basically, you want to gain popularity to win something very important in this game, and that is also tied to your relationships with people, ties into the battle system, into your archetype system, and empowers you to get new abilities and things like that too. So it's a double. I like how they did. I think that's smart implementation. And there are 40 different archetypes in this game.
Let's talk about it, Jamie. Again, let's get your thoughts on Metaphor, how big this game potentially can be, and just some caveat before I hand over the mic to you. Did you find folks know that Final Fantasy Pixel Collection is in the top 10 most purchased games on Xbox? Did you know that? And I think that is a really big deal. So if you combined that with the Mana game that sold pretty well on Xbox, and now of course Metaphor, which is expected to sell quite a bit on Xbox, I think that is going to potentially pull the cover off of studios not wanting to put their JRPGs because Xbox actually do buy games. Holy shit, folks. What a revelation. But by all means, Jamie, take it away.
First I'll talk about Metaphor, then I'll talk about the whole, marketing thing for Microsoft, because it's a big year for Microsoft. So when it comes to Metaphor, like, this is Atlus's biggest game this year. They've had multiple different ports this year. They had Shin Megami Tensei 5 released on Xbox and Switch and PC, I think. So that was a big deal. And they had Unicorn Overlord, which people loved, and Persona 3 Reload is massive. That is a great game. It launched in Game Pass. Highly recommend people try it. And also, if people do have Game Pass, the expansion pass is available in your perks, so you get the expansions for free. And that is a big game. Like, Atlus has had one hell of a year, and they dropped this game, and it's looking like one of the best games of the year. It's a huge fantasy JRPG. It's arguably the best Atlus game, biggest Atlus game in a very long time. And this is on a bigger scope than previous Atlus games, right? You have a bigger world, more interesting characters. You have these fully animated cutscenes, which we have had in Atlus games in the past, but this looks like it has way more of them and higher quality standard of them. So like, Atlus has managed to like raise the bar for themselves every single time, and it looks like they're not stopping. Like, there's rumors of Persona 6 in development. We might say that next year, but from what I played of the game, it's fantastic. It does prove that people do in fact like turn-based combat, which I kind of find really funny, because people hate on turn-based combat, but as soon as they play a game like this, they're like, okay, you know what, it is pretty good. But they haven't one hell of a run, and I didn't get that far into the demo because I'm saving myself for the main game, but I love the setting. I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy it. And the really cool thing about Atlus is that the way they make their games, they make them so you can make them as easy or as hard as you want. And some people find JRPGs really difficult to get into. So if you just want to play for the story, you can do that. And like you said, Boom, they make long games, really long games. Like, this game's main like if you saying it out loud sounds kind of crazy. Its main story is 100 hours long.
Yeah, it's just insane.
Like, that's absurd, but hell, at least you're getting your money's worth. And I think, they've made an interesting game here that's going to resonate with a lot of people. I think Atlus have been wanting to get, like you said, this might be Atlus's Elden Ring moment, because a lot of people's eyes are on this. As it's something different. It's arguably one of the biggest GRPGs of the year when it comes to length and just style and everything. So hey, it looks like it's going to be a great game. Can't wait for it. But when it comes to the whole marketing thing, and that person that mentioned like, why are we excited about marketing deals? Like, I'm not excited about marketing deals. It does nothing for me. I think it's good for Xbox when they do these marketing deals, because people still refer to Xbox as the live shooter box, the dude bro box, but like they have a lot of single player games on their platform, and it's important for them to get out there and let people know, hey, this GRPG is coming to Xbox, and them getting marketing rights for something like Metaphor ReFantazio is bloody huge, because they get their logo on the box. And remember last year with the Xbox logo scare? That was funny. It's a big deal, right? It's a big deal. People want more JRPGs on Xbox, so if they get their name out there and just advertise, hey, you can get JRPGs on an Xbox, it does help. The Pixel remasters have been selling really well. And if you like really think about it like this, the Pixel remasters, it's a £64 collection of 30-year-old games.
Yep.
Selling really well on Xbox.
I bought it.
Yeah, selling really well on Xbox in a time where there's a lot of big releases in the UK. Multiple different FIFA bundles are selling really well. Red Dead Redemption is on sale for like £18. Like, the Pixel remasters even being in the top 50 is a good thing, but it being number 19 as of yesterday or something, like, that is really, really good, especially since there's been next to no marketing for them. So people know about these games and people want more. And then you have these big, high quality JRPGs like Metaphor ReFantazio come to the platform and being marketed with Xbox. That's why people like us, we recognize why it's a good thing. And Dragon Age and all these other games that are being marketed with Xbox, like Xbox, their weakest point has been marketing for a long time, right? They have a console out that has backwards compatibility with all of their previous generations of consoles, right? And it's not on the box itself. Do you know how much that infuriates me? Like, they don't even talk about half of the features. And let's be honest, like, Microsoft, their weakest point outside of messaging is marketing their own games. So when they actually get marketing, rights for third-party games, that helps the platform. It helps the platform grow. And single player is a big aspect at the minute where people are getting kind of burnt out on live service games. People have had enough. If they get the marketing rights to all these single player games, people look at them with interest, realize because there's people still to this day that have told me they didn't know that like most of these single player games were even available on Xbox. So like when they get market rights, it gets it out there in the wild. So like when you have all these big games along with their first party games, and you have Call of Duty launching in Game Pass, like that is freaking huge. And it's the biggest Call of Duty in years. And if you're a campaign only player, congratulations, it's going to be the biggest campaign in years with the longest development cycle. You have level-based zombies back. The multiplayer, and I'm saying this as someone that does not play multiplayer anymore. The multiplayer in Black Ops 6 is freaking phenomenal. Yeah. It's so much fun doing the whole omnidirectional movement, being able to sprint.
Dude, it's the fastest multiplayer I've ever played. It's just so quick.
Yeah, and it's basically first-person Max Payne 3 multiplayer. That's the best way I can describe it.
You're not wrong.
And it just works, and it's so much fun. And like that is a big deal. You also have the big third-party, Xbox Game Pass stuff, such as Stalker 2. Stalker 2, people have been waiting for this game since 2007. Like, it's been a long time coming. It's like, look, we can all hate on Xbox for their messaging. Their messaging has always been terrible. But when it comes to first-party output and their relationship with other, studios and getting these games in Game Pass and marketing them on the platform to let people know, they are doing a really good job at the minute. And that's what I'm saying.
I mean, listen, regardless of whether you support one platform or four, there's games for everyone. I think from an Xbox gamer's point of view, there is a lot to get excited about. It's funny because, like supposedly the Xbox community doesn't buy games, right? That's the running narrative because of Game Pass. There's been a lot of narratives in the last couple of weeks. Game Pass is a lie because they didn't include the Starfield DLC as part of your service, forcing people to pay $30 for the for the DLC. I mean, PlayStation charges $180 and very rarely puts their own first-party games in, certainly not day and date, and they take them out, just like they did with Horizon Zero Dawn, because they want you to buy the remaster. But again, that's what I'm talking about, like I said, I referred to earlier, as it being okay for one, not so much for the other. So I pulled a story regarding the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. Now, it is in the top 10 currently of most paid games. Interestingly enough, in Japan, thanks to a story pulled from Windows Central, this was updated October 5th. Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection has shot up to first place, the #1 spot on top paid games in the Xbox store in Japan. So, yeah, it matters that you get those kind of collections. And it matters. Who wrote this story? This was written by Alexander Cope. This was last updated October 5th, which is a couple of days ago. Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster title climbs high on the Xbox store, proving that Xbox players actually, quote-unquote, do love and buy JRPGs. What a shocker, ladies and gentlemen. Look, there isn't much more to say other than the fact that if you are an Xbox fan, you have a lot to look forward to. Now, again, if JRPGs, you're not tickled pink like I am, and you didn't go out and buy the Pixel Pixel collection, because I did, and that was actually on sale. Normally, I didn't realize this. It was an $80 collection. It was on sale on Xbox. I don't know if it's still on sale for $60. So I went and bought that the minute it became live, and that became live obviously right after TGS 24, and then of course Metaphor comes out on Friday. And whether you're buying it or not, that's entirely up to you. I am, like I said, if you want to try it, at least go try the demo. The demo's free.